Now, a senior Russian official has told Tass News that Russian forces will stop firing from 10 a.m. Moscow time on Wednesday, that's 7 GMT. And they're also ready to provide humanitarian corridors so civilians can leave Kyiv and 4 other cities. The Russian official said information about corridors from the 5 cities will be sent to Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Iryna Vereshchuk. And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy told ABC News that Ukraine is ready to hold a dialogue with Russia on security guarantees and the future of the occupied territories of Donetsk and Luhansk regions and Crimea as well. He also stated that Ukraine must have a collective security agreement with all its neighbors. As civilian casualties have become one of the biggest concerns amid the conflict, the United Nations Human Rights Office says it has verified more than 1,300 civilian casualties in Ukraine so far. 474 were killed and more than 800 were wounded. The numbers could be higher. Meanwhile, Ukraine says its forces have killed more than 11,000 Russian troops. Russia has confirmed about 500 losses. No Ukrainian casualties have been reported by either side. Economically, more brands have suspended business in Russia. McDonald's, Starbucks and L'Oreal are temporarily closing all outlets there. And Coca-Cola and Pepsi suspended soda sales in the country. Michael Voss has more details from Lviv.
Day 13 of the war in Ukraine, and Russian troops continue to meet fierce resistance, and they're continuing with their policy of surrounding population centers and indiscriminately bombarding civilian populations in an attempt to demoralize and get the country to surrender, although Ukraine has made clear that it intends to fight on. Now, Russia has announced that there will be a ceasefire on Wednesday morning to have more corridors, safe corridors for civilians to flee. There was one for Tuesday morning in the north of the country in 2 places, Idlib and in Sumy near the border with Russia. These ceasefires held. In Sumy in particular, several thousand people were able to get on buses and leave in convoys of cars to a town away from the fighting within Ukraine. We're told amongst those were more than 1,000 foreign students, including more than 100 refugees. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy gave an historic speech today, a video call to the British Parliament, the first time a foreign leader has ever talked to the British Parliament. He made lots of references that he hoped the British would understand, quoting Shakespeare, to be or not to be. He also paraphrased a speech by Britain's wartime leader Winston Churchill, his famous "We'll fight them on the beaches." He did, though, call for more help from the West.
Strengthen sanctions against the terrorist state. Finally recognize it as a terrorist state. Find a way to make our Ukrainian sky safe. Do what you can, what you must do. The greatness of your country and your people obliges you to do so.
The Polish authorities are looking to sell all of their Russian-made MiG fighters to the United States as a first move to giving them to the Ukrainian Air Force, which could see another major escalation in this conflict. Michael Voss, CGTN News in Lviv, Western Ukraine.